This is Beyond Reviews. Mabuhay mga kaibigan! Welcome to Beyond Reviews TV. This is Blake, your host, and in this episode, isi-share namin kung paano hindi mo i-crash ang iyong drone. Stay tuned. So it's been about 3 years of flying different kinds of drones, and we've come to some close calls, but we've never ever crashed. So why did we never crash? We want to share that with you. So number one of the first things that we do is we make sure everything is charged. We charge the iPad mini, we charge the drone, we charge the controller, and we make sure we have everything we need the night before for the drone flight the next day. Tip number two, make sure you know your location. Knowing your location means you know where it's going to be. If you're going to be in a sandy beach, make sure you bring some air blowers or some blowers or some wipes for your gear before and after the shoot. And then also, if you're going to be in a mountainous area, you're going to expect fog. Also, number three, check the weather in that location, okay? Because you don't want to fly when it's raining, and you got to know where the wind is blowing also. So what I usually do, if I need to get a shot over here, what I would do is I would go towards the wind and then set up for the shot, then go with the wind. At least it comes back, right? So when I was flying in Batanes, roll this clip, I tried to make sure that the wind was actually blowing towards us. So what we did was we flew it towards the wind till we had good framing. Then we flew it coming back and just flew over us just a little bit. Then I made it land. Number four, you have to have good company. Meaning, you need a spotter. Like our good friend, Bam. Bam, come on over. So this guy is my spotter. Hey, it's not time for a bird box challenge. We're serious here, Bam. Anyway, he likes to joke around. He's doing the bird box challenge. Don't do it with your spotter or when you fly your drone. Tip number five, you have to do these pre-flight checks that we learned from Drones PH from Kalki Jimenez himself. So let's do that right now. So before you fly, you have to make sure that you have your GPS, you have your satellites. We have about 16 satellites here, and we actually had to calibrate the compass. So we moved it around the drone, and also you have your controller, signal, and transmitter towards your drone is pretty good. And your batteries. Okay, so I have 97% battery. So I made sure that, well, I looked around the area. There's not that many tall trees. It's just about that height. There's no network towers or anything or poles that I'm gonna hit. And so far, there's no planes flying around. So this is a good place to fly. And since I'm on the beach, I made sure I put it on top of this little table thingy, and making sure that there's no sand when I take off. So here we go, manual takeoff, arming. So I like to yell out arming, which means I'm arming the propellers to make sure I move back a little bit from the drone, and lifting off, even though there's nobody here to say it, what I'm doing. So I raise it about my height, and then I do the flight checks, which means I'm gonna go up and down, and then panning left, panning right, it's good. Forward is good, back is good, left and right is good. All right, so now let's fly. I'm gonna start recording and taking off. What I like about the Mavic Pro, it has sensors and protects you from hitting anything. So even though I wasn't hitting anything there, it still stopped me from moving or hitting anything like that at all. Why do I like to catch it when I'm in a sandy area is because if I land it on the ground, it's gonna go all over the place, right? The sand's gonna get into propellers and it's gonna be bad news for me. So what I like to do is I like to catch it instead. I had to take off the sensor from underneath because if you don't, it won't land on your hand. Number two is you gotta be careful on this side. You gotta catch it from over here. So when you put it at the height that you want it, just catch it this way and press down. And that's it. You've caught your MAVIC 2 Zoom. And the impressions that we have of the MAVIC 2 Zoom, it is a super excellent drone. We used to fly the Phantom 4 and that was our favorite for almost 3 years. And now that we were able to sell that and we were able to get the MAVIC 2 Zoom, we're in love with it. It handles strong winds very well, and it's got super awesome speed, great footage from this, and it's so small, so light, so versatile. We're just so in love with it right now. This is such a great piece of machinery for any filmmaker to have. So those are some of our tips here at Beyond Reviews of making sure that you minimize the risk of crashing your drone. So this is Blake from Beyond Reviews TV, signing out. Hit that like button if you like the video. Do leave us a comment of how you keep your drone from crashing. And also hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet subscribed. I'll see you guys next week.